this? Oh, there we go. Screen share. This is what I want. I'm just going to do the entire screen, not me. No. I'll do it all.
Oh. I think you need to go back to just you.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I'll do.
I'm guessing that's what it is.
Or wait, no, this is what I want. Because now they're seeing my screen, maybe.
I don't do that.
I never do it with a link. I just click start and then I do it.
Uh-huh.
Oh, now it says start again. I don't either. This is driving me crazy. Oh.
I just don't know when it saves. I don't know what's going on with it.
Molly, do you know how to do the screen share? Which one to click?
Or the
Google Hangout? I've tried this both ways.
It doesn't work.
Well, I went entire screen and that it was I did an entire screen and it like kicked me out or something.
Share the content of your screen. What would you like to share?
Or mainly my this.
Is that like your presentation?
No, that's what I
Oh.
thought. That's why I went there first.
Did you try that one yet? I
Yeah,
honestly don't know.
okay.
I haven't done this before. Not with the share screen, I mean.
See, and that's what this does when I do it to this one. I'll just
Are you the
present
one? I was gonna say, are you the one presenting?
Yeah.
Oh.
is this at the
Joy.
other conference?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
This is there, I'll polish and clean up my brain. This one's very nice. You can use this one. I won't make you take it, Mary. I should give this to Cindy.
What?
Travel everywhere. She's at more places than
I know. I should do that. That'll be good.
But then you'll see your pink frame with the NBC Learn logo on it. She'll
Uh-huh.
she'll use the pink frame and change the picture. I bet it might. Oh.
Okay. It has to be live.
How about we just do like a short little blurb, like as always.
Okay.
NBC Learn was there to represent Cindy Harrison. Wow.
What are you talking about?
Through how to access.
I heard my name.
Oh, just writing a quick short blurb on our blog.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh,
Just
yeah.
that.
Oh, then, yeah. Like I said, it says, I wonder if anyone hears me. I'm going to call. And my phone doesn't work.
Here, I'll just Skype something to you maybe, Mary. Just to close it or something.
Oh, I was going to, because I think. Call. I have the.
Like, email my all pictures and they still have not come through. I wonder if I can't email them from down here.
Oh, that might be.
Because I've got one here, one I should do.
Yeah.
Oh, it's still sending.
All right, how's this? And of course, Cindy Harrison was in attendance, sharing her love of NBC Learn with Indiana educators. Indiana has a partnership with NBC Learn, which serves as a wonderful resource to all K-12 teachers, providing videos and other educational resources listed by topic in Indiana standards.
Awesome. You were wonderful.
That was just short and sweet, but
You're
and then we'll
a rock
put
star.
the
You are.
Indiana NBC Learn link.
Uh-huh. Oh, look, there are my pictures.
All right, so I'm seeing if anyone is on the Google Hangout for connecting the 4C's NBC Learn. Do you have a Gmail?
Mhm.
Can I like invite you and see if you're,
It's the Emule at the end.
oh, I'm not on my regular thing. So it's what?
Emule, YOWELL.
MYO. Oh, it's coming up. Oh, you're in my circle.
Yeah, I do.
I forgot about that. Yeah. Hello. I knew that. I've talked to you on Gmail.
Yeah, we actually have.
I know.
Are you calling?
It should be an email. Did it come up?
Video call.
Oh, wow. Cool.
I missed it. Try to.
Oh, okay. Invite people. Invite Molly. Right there. That's such a good picture of you.
Okay. You see me?
Yep. Oh, no, not yet.
Come on. Oh. Join.
There you are. Oh, good. So it is working.
Yeah, and you're echoing, so I can hear you.
I don't laugh at you in the background.
Here, you're, and I can see your NBC Learn screen. This is what I see.
Oh, wow. Oh, that's what you should see.
Yeah.
See, it's not there anymore.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, you're not seeing the big picture of the people.
No, no, it's in the corner.
Okay.
You good?
I am. Thank you. At least I know it's on.
Yeah, it's working.
So if people are needing to be on the link.
Yeah.
And I can't call because my phone doesn't work in this part of the
I
room.
know.
Okay, Molly, if you will send that to me when you're ready with it. That is Connie. And if you would you read my paragraphs?
Yeah.
Just make sure they make sense.
I just typed it too.
Okay, awesome. I'll be right back in second, right?
All the way down to the right. Pretty far.
It is pretty far. Did you see my picture or was I blank?
I didn't see.
Oh, good.
Just your
And
screen.
just in case it comes on, what's it called? And then it pops up. Okay. Well, it still isn't supposed to start until 2:45, or it's 1:45 their time.
Okay, so you got a couple minutes.
because they're in Central Time.
Mhm.
Which I didn't know that Indiana had 2 time zones. Last year, luckily, I figured out just in time to make it to the correct time when I was in Lowell,
I was gonna say,
at Lowell.
that messes
yeah.
me up so bad. The time changes around here.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm obviously Eastern, and then Candace and all them are Central.
Oh, that's right, Evansville Central.
Yeah,
Okay,
but Mary and I and David are,
yeah.
yeah.
And I'm well, I live in Central, but since all my colleagues work on
Okay.
Eastern, I pretty much live on Eastern. I work Eastern, yeah.
Yeah, that's what they do. I think they do like 7 to 4, 7
Yeah.
to 3 their time.
Yeah,
A lot of people are.
so I'm sure they leave at 3. I know, yeah, I know. I have 2 viewers, but I don't hear them talking. How? Oh, okay. So I see you joined and left. Perfect.
For today, bye.
All right, I found the typo.
Awesome.
At the very end, when you're talking about Brittany and Tiffany, you said the focus of this session was on literacy. So they discussed the areas of phonics.
Ah,
So they discussed or either covered. Choose a word, Mary.
Mary. And that also kind of sounds bad. So they.
Yeah. And then I Skyped
Oh, that's
my
on mine.
word.
I see that. Thank you. And we be
Done. I'm gonna go relieve my mother. She's so graciously watching my children.
That's so nice.
That's really.
Save me $30.
There are pros and cons to living near family.
Yeah.
Might like pros for us. I mean, because honestly, my parents, my mom's never retired, my dad's retired, and they're a
Oh.
lot. So I mean, it's not like overkill.
Yeah.
I mean, we see them once, maybe twice a week. But
Okay,
other than that,
that's nice.
it's really, in a lot of it, like baseball games or, come over for dinner, but
Which is great because like my mom hasn't been to
Probably
one
any.
of St. baseball game. She might have been to a soccer game at some point.
yeah.
Um,
So yeah, it is nice.
my father-in-law, honestly, I feel like has been to more stuff and he lives in Washington State.
Yeah, I remember.
Because when he
days.
comes here, he gets for a freaking
Couple weeks.
long time.
Yeah.
But then, when you're here at the house
Yeah.
for 2 weeks,
Right.
then there's stuff you can go to, whereas my parents are 2.5 hours
Right.
north. So to come to like Samuel's band concert on a Thursday night,
Yeah,
doesn't
Yeah.
really work.
No.
A Thursday
No.
night is not a good night to do something.
Right.
Even though my mom doesn't really work, but she doesn't like to leave my stepdad. Like,
Mm.
we're such newlyweds still.
Aw. This is so weird how this is.
I guess I should read yours.
Yeah. I'm glad I know it was working, you know, but no one's on. But no one, all these extra people that I thought were going to be here are not here. You know what? I can actually go to Google Chat on that one and see.
Okay. Name this something. Hospital 2015. Awful to the point and generic to me, I like it.
Okay, now the problem is that that's spelled right. I-D-O-S-S-I-B, process.
Oh, you can hear me. Great. Okay, perfect. Well, we're just sitting here. So awesome. So I'm going to go ahead and get started then, since it's 2:50 or 1:50 your time at Connect the 4C's. So we're very thankful that you're a part of it. I've been here at Center Grove High School for the Center Grove Conference. So in my continuing quest to get to all of the Indiana Summer of E-Learning conferences. So do you see my screen, Debbie? Feel free to write in the group chat box. That would be great. All right, so you can see that to get to NBC Learn, we created a page where you can go navigate to indiana.nbclearn.com. And you will see click here to access NBC Learn K-12. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that. And you will now see in the upper right-hand corner, it says Welcome Indiana Department of Education. So you can have access to all 18,000 resources that we have located within the NBC Learn collection, all at this point. We wanted to keep the barriers to the minimum. We wanted students and parents and teachers and everyone to be able to access this very easily. So you are now on the NBC Learn site. And as an educator, I would highly recommend recommend you to go ahead and click register now in the upper right-hand corner of the screen. And because you have some increased functionality, which includes making playlists, which is one of my favorite features. And I haven't really said who I am. My name is Cindy Harrison, and I am the lead trainer here at NBC Learn. And I am a former teacher who used it in her own classroom. I was a U.S. history teacher in Houston, Texas, at a Title I high school. I had a very multicultural student body. I had about half my students were ESL, and they loved the site. They truly became engaged, and so it really increased their critical thinking skills utilizing the NBC Learn resources. So I am glad that you are here, and I hope you will have the same wonderful results in your own classroom. If you feel free to say which subject, I will be happy to cater this for a particular topic. So you can let me know in the chat window. I would be happy to talk about that. Go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and continuing on. I hope you are having some time to be able to register now if you're following along. If not, make sure to write notes that you would like to register, and then just feel free to follow. We have a wonderful opening page. We have what we call our carousel that talks about and shows different images of resources. In this case, it's being shown right now an archival piece. We also features our other resources, which on this one was now Campus Perspectives. And it also now talks about our social media. We're having an Explain the Brain Twitter chat tomorrow with our scientists. It's highlighting our new collection that just became live today. So you're a part of a new thing, being a part of this webinar today, being at, Connect the 4S's, 4C's, Connect the 4C's that we have there. So go a little bit lower into our homepage. You can see our most watched videos, and you just never know what you are going to see. It's just some fantastic resources. I always make sure I've seen all of them that pop up. So I have seen these three, and actually the commentary that John Chancellor gives on the U.S. education system is very good. So feel free to come back to that when you have an opportunity. But what I really would like to bring and draw your attention to is our NBC Learn in the classroom. And this is so important. I know as a teacher, I would always get wonderful ideas from my colleagues, and this is a great way to get a that's another user of the NBC Learn product, and they share how they use it. I'm going to go ahead to Mirtha here. She is a 5th grade teacher in the Miami-Dade School District, and she explains how she is using NBC Learn in her own classroom with her 5th graders. And not only does she explain how, but she does offer resources in which she uses for her classroom. But we're not limited to just the two I showed you. You can actually go over here and click on the K-12 and see other teachers and how they're utilizing NBC Learn in their own classroom. And again, as a teacher, it's great because you get ideas, not just because they're teaching maybe your topic that you're teaching, but how they're using it, and you can apply it into your own style of teaching. So so that is just a great place. One of my favorites is our 7th grade language arts teacher and how she uses it in her classroom. One being, she sets the context of the story that her students are reading. And in her case, it was the Red Scarf Girl. So that she's talking about the Cultural Revolution. So by being able to utilize NBC Learn resource, which is about 3 minutes talking about the Cultural Revolution. So it develops that context for her students to use. So I'm going to go ahead and navigate back to the page. And then you can see here, I want to have you see our collections on the left-hand side of the page, and I want to go ahead and start with current events. So I'm going to go ahead and click on current events. And you're going to see that we keep it in a file type format. We go back to 2008 when we started gathering resources for NBC Learn. And so you have that reliability. So all of the resources that are placed in NBC actually stays there. So you're going to have it year after year when you want to utilize any of the resources here for your classroom. So you can see our previous years are listed out by year, and our current year is listed out by month. And we're going to go ahead and go to June. And so you can see that it's the week of June 7th, but we also have resources from last week, but we do carry our resources week to week by this Sunday. So last Sunday was May 31st. So you will see the first week of June's located in our week of May 31st. So, but I'm going to go ahead and click on one now. And you can see that it pops up, and this is what we call our cue card, and it's our media player, and it has all of this wonderful information, and I'm going to take this time to highlight it as I'm going over it right now. You can see we can add closed captioning, we can go full screen. I'm going to go ahead and minimize it again, but I like to draw your attention to the back of our cue card by clicking on our backward facing arrow here in the upper right hand corner. So I'm going to click on that. And you can see now the back of the cue card. So you can see under our general information here that our source is NBC Nightly News. This is just one of our many avenues in which we gain resources to add and include in the NBC Learn collection. Others include like the Today Show or Meet the Press, Dateline NBC. We gather information from our family of properties, including MSNBC, CNBC, but all of that would be located right here. It's copyright information, so you have, as a subscriber, you can use our resources. The clip length, and this is one of my favorites, is on this one it's 2 minutes and 5 seconds, and that's very indicative to the majority of our resources. Most of them are between 1 and 6 minutes in length, which makes it perfect. It just lends perfectly to the classroom environment because you can use it and in addition to enhance what you already have. You can put it at the beginning to hook your students. You can use it to support what you're saying or as a summary at the end, so that's so versatile in the use for their classroom. So we have a description, which makes it really nice because 2 minutes is not that long, but it does add up when you're looking at multiple resources. So this is a great way to provide a shortcut to see if this is something you want to use for your classroom. We have, excuse me, keywords. And so this is a great way to show the versatility of our topic. So some of you might be a geography teacher and you're showing the Great Smoky Mountains National Park, but some of you might be a biology teacher or science teacher in elementary school that you're talking about insects. So you can click on whichever keyword is the most relevant to you, and then all of our other resources that have the same keyword within our other 18,000 would come up that you could use. So that's a great way to find additional resources for yourself, and it's also a fantastic place for students to embark on a research project of their own. So speaking of research, we have a citation generator. This was fantastic for my own personal students because I made them do research all the time, and this was a great way that I knew I was getting a proper citation. So I personally used MLA, but we have APA and the Chicago Manual of Style where the students can just click on copy and then paste this as citing their source. I'm going to go ahead and flip the card back over to the front, where we have a transcript drawer. So you can click on that tab and then the full transcript is available for you to use. Students can use it to quote from. And personally, this was my personal favorite shortcut, is that you are able to just peruse very quickly through the transcript to see if it is something a resource that you want to utilize for your students. So you have that as well. And also, with the standards of using informational text, you have that with every single one of our resources. All right, so I'm going to go down to the bottom. So if you're following along and you did not have an opportunity to register, you will see that these first two tabs, the Save and Notes, are going to be grayed out. But once you are registered, this is the increased functionality I was mentioning to have your own account. So I can click on Save here. And I already have playlists, and we'll get to that just in a little bit. But I'm going to go ahead and click on New. And I'm going to call this Connect the 4C's. So I have that, and I'm going to now click on Save. And so now I have saved this resource. And what's really nice about it is that once you have saved it, then you have the opportunity to include notes. So as a U.S. history teacher that taught it multiple times a day, it was really nice that I could put my questions I wanted to add here, add information here. I can then have any questions here that I can and then answer or have them available, for 7th period. But what's even better from going during the day, having this resource available to me, I have it year after year. As I said, I use this for 3 years in my own classroom. So year after year, I already had my questions I wanted to ascertain and be able to discuss with my students from each of these sources. I also was talking about how you can use it as an introductory piece. And so maybe you want to have a site on national parks that you want to go to, you can actually include that here, and you could be able to add this hyperlink to that particular site. So you can use the NBC Learn video, like I said, as a hook, and then go on to the site for further investigation on that particular topic. So again, the versatility of using it in your classroom. So I'm going to go ahead and close this. I'm going to move this up a little bit so I can click on save. And so now you can see that it saves, it turns green, and it closes automatically. NBC Learn resources were built to be collaborative. So this is just one example of that feature of collaborating. You can see you can push it to your favorite service. One of the quickest ways to actually incorporate NBC Learn into your own materials is you might already have a PowerPoint on national parks. And so you can just grab this URL, put it on there, and it would link to the site to show the videos. So if you want to do it that way, you can add this link to your website so students can go to it and watch the videos that you've assigned for them. They can do that. Again, whichever works best for your own classroom. We also have a print tab that you can click, and you can see a 2-dimensional version of the cue card. So we have an image, all of the metadata from the back of the cue card, and a full transcript. Now this is excuse me, this is where you can find your notes that you've typed in. So if you do not want to print with all your notes in there, you can just stay at the Welcome Indiana DOE. So you can do it that way and not be registered in order to print it without your notes. I personally liked it with the questions when I gave it to my students, and I was in a one-to-one environment. So I actually converted it to a PDF and emailed it to them. So it was very nice. I even would get other information that I needed, added it to my notes, and then just had it all in one area for my students. We also have a wonderful feature with downloading, and so you're able to download this resource to your own computer. You can see my NBC Learn offline player has popped up automatically. The first time, though, that you do click on it, you are going to be asked a series of prompts that you can, and you do need to have administrative rights to your computer, because you will be asked to download Adobe Air, and so you do have to have administrative rights to your computer. And you can see how quickly it is downloaded. So what you can do here, that once you have it downloaded, you would be saved into your downloaded library. So for instance, you can see how quickly it pops up ready to go. I'm going to go ahead and pause Lester here. You have that, and then you can get the embed code. So if you want to have a more seamless transition of utilizing it maybe in PowerPoints, for example, you can copy this embed code and place it there. I would always download an image as well and hyperlink it to be able to play from there. Now, we also know that you use multiple computers. You don't just leave the school at 3 o'clock and never think about it again. You are getting on your laptop working on it, or your home computer. So you can actually click on export if you're on a different computer, and then once you get to and put it on a flash drive, and once you get back to your classroom, you can import it. So it is transportable through the use of our download player here. So I'm going to go ahead and close that. We also have standards, and this is a brand new story, so they won't be aligned to a standard at this point. It takes about 6 to 8 weeks. We do send it off to a service, but once it gets back, it will be aligned to standard. So I will grab another video during the course of this presentation to show you that particular feature. All right, so let's go ahead and navigate back to all collections. and we are there again. Let's see. And so you can see that we have, I'm going to go past business and education, and I want to highlight health and wellness. And even though that you might not be a health and wellness teacher, I want to kind of highlight some things. And I always want to encourage teachers and educators to go outside their comfort zone, outside the area in which they teach, and look for some additional resources that they might be able to bring in to their own classroom. Here you can actually see this is part of our newest collection. Like I said, Mysteries of the Brain. I was talking about that we're having that Twitter chat tomorrow to talk about it and highlight these wonderful, they're so fantastic. I'm just so excited that we have this new collection. I love all of them, but this is just fantastic. It has Tom Costello narrating these stories. It's just awesome, and I wish I had an opportunity to be able to show these to you. I was showing them live here today at Center Grove, and they just had such a wonderful reception to seeing them. So I encourage you to look at them when you have an opportunity later to do so. But under our physical health collection, we have different with food, the physical activity, but we also have a body system collection, which I know is popular. Again, go outside your normal comfort zone and look for some additional resources. And one of my favorite is our mental health. We have some fantastic resources in building self-esteem and some very good resources as well as under resolving conflict. One of my favorites, especially to middle school and high school teachers, is having this teen, how he uses Twitter to compliment his peers. And it's just great. So if you're talking about digital citizenship in your classroom, which so many districts are doing now as they're going and transitioning to a more one-to-one environment, this would be great. So for hearing it from their peer about digital citizenship is so important for students. So I'm going to go ahead and back out and then go to all the way back out here. I wish I had time. I could literally spend at least 2 hours talking just on the health and wellness collection, but I won't do that right now. So I will navigate down throughout here our collection, our K-5 resources. This was actually set up about 2 years ago. We have a K-12 collection, but at the request of so many elementary teachers, they wanted a go-to spot. And yes, this is a great go-to. You can see up here in the upper right-hand corner that we have a Welcome NBC Learn. And that we have under Welcome NBC Learn, you can see we have 312 resources within this collection. And so that goes through an additional vetting process to share with the younger students. So you have this go-to collection. So you can go into language arts and you can see actually another one of our original collection, again, fantastic. You have, but I want to show you so you can see that here, but you're also going to see it where it's relevant in our other collections as well. So this is something for the K-5 students, where these authors and illustrators have been so wonderful, and they actually are sharing the whole creative process. How do they come up with their ideas? How do they develop their characters? And they share that with students, and it's great for students to be able to see how that creativity is different for everyone. But I'm going to go ahead now into language arts. So we have resources here, and again, you see that Writers Speak to Kids collection, and that was derived from our Writers Speak, where we have compiled interviews over the years with the various authors, either fiction, nonfiction, but to make it more suitable with that Writers Speak to Kids for the elementary audience. But don't let that limit you, especially like if you're in elementary. We have this wonderful resource with Amber Jones on her book about New York, about the smells of New York City and the various areas. So great a resource here with Samantha Shannon on the bone season, how she started writing at 13 and just wrote too much, according to her mom. So I know I have a hard time understanding how a teacher could write, or a student can write too much, but how she sent her manuscript to publishing houses and how she got declined, but one of them saw potential and talked about that whole literary criticism. He wasn't criticizing that. He spoke about how she was okay with him knowing, because she was mature enough to understand that he wasn't writing to make a being mean, he was writing to help her improve her writing. And so I know many times that, I would write on my students' essays, they would think I was being mean, but I was being there to be helpful. I wanted them to do well on that AP exam. I wanted them to have that 5. So, you have to write how to improve on their papers. And so this is a great way, a resource that you can utilize that information. We can dig really deep within our language arts collection as well as with all of them. But I like to point out in our writing, in case I have language arts and English teachers out there in the audience, that you can get this, our grammar. We have some wonderful, these are short, to the point. Most of them are about a minute in length. English versus an A, you have all of that. One of my all-time favorites, and I actually found this as a history teacher because I had searched for grammar because my students were telling me I should have been an English teacher, and we found that. So great video. It was from the early 90s, but it's still as appropriate. It's very appropriate today. So you can see just so many different stories as we kind of go back through the language arts collection. But I want to keep moving minutes left in the session. So I want to keep going through our collection. Our math and statistics collection is absolutely amazing because it shows students the relevance of their math. Why are they learning it? So you're not going to find things in here about teaching them how to do 1 + 1 = 2. We do have a wonderful Pythagorean theorem in our geometry collection where we have teamed up with the NFL, but we also have some geometry with another collection of where we have teamed up with the NHL. So we have that as well. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about those resources a little bit later. So that's briefly a very brief look at math and statistics. I'm going to move on down to science. And again, especially if you're elementary teachers, you're going to find plenty of resources in addition to the science resources we have, that went through that additional vetting process in our K-5 collection. But to come back through here and look for additional resources. So like in astronomy and space can definitely be across all grade levels. So you can go through here and go, again, a deeper dive into the solar system or looking specifically at planets. If you want to do that, going into Venus specifically here. But I'm going to go ahead and back out a little bit here where you can see the collection. What I like to point out is that in any part of our sub collections or any collections within any of these categories I've even already shown you, you can go to the top of the page and grab copy that URL and put that on your website if you want students to stay within a certain collection or sub collection. Again, I was showing you that collaborative nature in which NBC Learn was built to be able to share, or you can share it directly through various resources here as well. I like to take this opportunity, our default is our thumbnail view and having the most recent. So we know that when you come back to your specific collection, you're always going to see the most current piece that has been placed here. But another view is our list view. So if you want to look at it as a list, but even better, if you navigate over to the right-hand side of the page, you can click expanded. And now you have the access to the description that I showed you from the back of the cue card, as well as the mini thumbnail. So this makes it really nice in looking for resources to share with your students. So I'm going to go ahead and collapse it. And another thing you might have a student go, well, Ms. Harrison, when were rockets built? How long have they been around? And you can see that our collection has 373 resources here. So you can actually convert it to an ascending order. So you can get our older pieces listed first. So you can then talk about, the rockets from the 1950s, including, our first monkeys going to space, and how the whole program, going through Gemini and then on to Apollo and everything. You can go and see the whole viewing of the whole space program going through here if you so choose to do so. You have that. So I love all of our NASA pieces and that we have in here. Just wonderful, wonderful collection. Including Sputnik, and this is actually from October 7th, 1957, that you can show your students. It's less than a minute, but it's absolutely wonderful, and it was one of my students' favorite resources when we talked about Sputnik and then the importance of Sputnik. And I told them just pick up, you know, show your hand, which usually has a cell phone in it. So again, showing that relevance and bringing it home. And having them understand it through science and historical videos. So we have that. The other thing I like to point out, though, is instead of, you can also manipulate the other sort. So maybe you want to go by event date. And in this case, you will see an anniversary piece. So anniversary pieces come up. Sometimes even the event date might be prior to the published date. So those resources would pop in that ascending order. So I'm going to go ahead and click back to, except I will show type real fast. We do have images, although we do mostly have videos. We have images. We also have documents and graphs as well. And I'll show you that you can manipulate that sort in that way. So I'm going to go ahead and go into all collections. Back down, we're going to see social studies, and as you're quite aware, we have just thousands of resources all within the social studies collection. So you fabulous African American studies. You can go through here and get resources, and as well as in our American Indian heritage, our Hispanic heritage. I love our global studies collection, where one place that's very popular for teachers to use is you can see that it's divided in regions. I know I taught world geography. Unfortunately, before I had NBC Learn, I would have loved to have had this as a geography teacher. So you have that. I also taught U.S. government and economic. Love to have this. I had it while I taught U.S. history, which of course I love, but it would have been wonderful to have it for these other subjects as well. One of my all-time favorite collections, and I use this as a history teacher, is our Living Constitution collection. So you have that, and it's patterned, obviously, as you can see, after the U.S. Constitution with our articles, and then you can further go into by sections and amendments and have a relevant example to share with your students. And sometimes not even relevant is what is always good. You also have, I love to show this one. I had shared this with my students, and from 1947 about the powers of Congress. And you can, again, build those critical thinking skills comparing it to now. So wonderful, wonderful resource that we have here in our Living Constitution collection. Our resources do go back over 80 years to the early 20th century, but we also have material that covers the time periods previous to that, where we have, excuse me, I'm at this conference. I'm calling to see. I'm not going to go into them at depth right now, but you can go into, the Civil War or colonial era. One of my favorites is evidence. It's a current event resource under Jamestown that says evidence of cannibalism at Jamestown Colony. So that is something that would definitely engage your students in history. But I want to go here quickly, and I've shown you some of these as we've gone through the collections, because these videos are placed where they're relevant throughout the site. And so this is our newest one, as I've been mentioning throughout the course of this session, is to be able to talk about brain. So come back when you have an opportunity. Again, these are extremely engaging, take you through the whole scientific process of whichever particular topic of the brain. So about building the brain, about the emotional side of your brain. So you can see so many different topics here, but you also see where we've partnered with the U.S. Golf Association, and we have, the whole science and engineering behind, the most recent Winter Games at Sochi, where, the Shaun White, you can understand the engineering of the half pipe. So it's not only his talent, but the whole engineering of the half pipe, where we have, again, worked with the National Science Foundation to provide some wonderful resources and about specific topics. So this is where it's different from our archive and our current event pieces we have here. And so you can go through here, and our sustainability is award-winning collection with water. Our science and innovation is just fabulous. We're actually going to be doubling this collection during the course of this year. I've talked about that Pythagorean theorem, but we also have Newton's laws of motion. here within, I'm going to go ahead and just open the Pythagorean theorem just to show you that we do have lessons with our original content pieces here, and most of them that we have. I'm going to pause it when it comes up. There we go, pause. So you can see, and then again, these were overseen by the National Science Foundation before we placed them here. So we have just, like I said, just additional resources that you can have for you. And you can see also our chemistry now. I would have liked chemistry had I been exposed to resources like this, especially with the chemistry of chocolate. But you see not only our chemistry of chocolate resource, but the ancillary materials that can go along and support that particular topic, all right here and easy for you to use in your own classroom. So I'm going to go ahead and back out. Again, I can talk about these all day, but I want to keep moving here to show you some other features within NBC Learn. And one of them is so we've shown the browsing collection, browsing the collections that we can also search by state standard. So it makes it really nice. So if there's a particular standard, so I'm going to scroll down to Indiana here. And then since I'm a history teacher, I'll go to social studies, and I'm going to go to 11th grade. And click on search. And so what's going to come up are all of the Indiana state standards. And then along the right-hand side, you'll see a column with green circles with a click on that. And that's going to bring up a resource for you that is correlated to that particular standard. And then you can click on it. This nice interview here with the Exxon CEO. So you can see that, and it will come in here. And I'm going to go ahead and again and stop it. So this is a great way to find a resource aligned to a standard. So I'm going to pause there. But see, then this is how it would work the other way. So if I was browsing, then it would come up, and just for the sake of time, I'm going to keep it as New York. Yours would come up as Indiana, but it would show all of the different standards that this particular resource is aligned to. So it makes it convenient when you're looking at and browsing the collection in that way. And then we have it where you can actually just do a full search up, and you can see here I have Civil War again, being a U.S. history teacher. So now we're going to bring up all of the different resources, which is 453. But we want to actually narrow that down to the U.S. Civil War. So I can do it, and one way I can do it is by date. So what I'm going to do here is actually go by our the decade of our Civil War. So I'll go from 1860 here to 1870 and gather the resources from here in 1870 and click on search. And so now we've narrowed it down to 99. And at this particular point, I can copy the URL again with that whole collaboration of not a collection, but if you want to save it at this particular time. But I'm thinking, 99 is a little much. I actually want to filter further. So you can go over to the left-hand side and either filter by collection, you can filter by source, or even filter by type. And as I was telling you earlier, we're not just videos. So I'm actually going to uncheck the video. And so now we have 33 different resources. So we have diary entries, images, newspaper articles, President Lincoln's second inaugural address, which is considered in the number 2. And I've seen a list of best inaugural addresses, Thomas Jefferson's being number 1, the Revolution of 1800. But we have that right there available. And again, you can copy it at this point and have just these collections. So I want to transition over to playlist. I talked about that earlier. We saved one. And you can actually have unlimited amount of playlists within your site. And I have literally 100 or so, including probably 25 or 30 from my own personal classroom. But as you can see, so I'm going to actually click on one of these here. Click on that because like the individual cue card, the search, the collections, you can actually save a playlist. So if you want to save it in different topics, such as 70s foreign policy. I have resources in there that I would put the link on my website. My students could always see which resources that I had. So I'm going to go ahead and click on 70s foreign policy, and I have 13 different resources right here. So I can copy this URL, keep it on my website, and I could do that with all my collections so my students would have those resources. And I would always have additional ones to what I showed in class, but if they want to use it for enrichment purposes, they're available for them to use. So we, like I said, we were in a one-to-one environment. They can do that. What is also nice is I could send you all these links, this link, and then you could actually then save it into your own and make it your own playlist. So it makes it really nice to collaborate with others of developing these new playlists. And in order to do so, I've kind of taken a page from the Indiana Department of E-Learning and built communities. So you can see here, and I've added these playlists here in some of these communities that I'm starting to build. So you can see the U.S. history. So you would see that the playlist on 70s foreign policy would be there for you to see. So that's some way of how I can utilize these playlists for more than just my purpose or seeing them in live trainings, but to be able to collaborate, and you can develop your own playlist and add to that particular community in which that one would apply. We have that. The other thing I do want to point out real quickly is that we have a tab located at the bottom of every page. I just didn't want to do that playlist since I have so many. But we have right here where you can see we have an accessibility tab. So if your student has dexterity issues, you can learn how to use the tab feature instead of the mouse. We also have it where you can get the resolution or the JAWS reader. So you have that information. And we also have a wonderful contact us. I mean, because our product evolves because we have input from people like yourself, how you're using it every day, and to offer your input is just extremely valuable to us. So if you have a comment and suggestion, you can go ahead and click here, or to request information if you're not seeing it in your search, let us know. Feel free to sign up for a webinar. We can do that if you want to take it back to your own individual class or your team. We can cater it to you in that way. If you're having a technical problem, our tech team is second to none. They are absolutely fantastic, and they get back to you within the hour, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And they're so fantastic that most of the time it's even much quicker than the hour. It's usually about 10 or 15 minutes. So again, very fantastic, great team. With all of them. So are there any questions? Feel free to ask and just let me know. If you have any, you can put it along the side in the Hangout. If not, thank you so much for joining us. I'm so glad that I can connect with y'all. I love being able to say S's. So we have that. So thank you so much for joining today, and good luck in your summer and putting things together. And feel free to contact us if you want to say, I want to talk to that Cindy Harrison woman. She will help me put some playlists together. Feel free to do so as well. So thank you so much, and have a great summer.